What is up, everybody? I'm just going out for a nice little stroll on a Sunday, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about something that if you're a new rider or somebody who grew up, learned how to ride, maybe never got their license, or maybe just got their license, so the actual rules of the road are maybe new-ish to you. I just wanted to go over something that I've been noticing quite a bit lately as I've ridden around the place where I work, the town in the city of Davis, where there's lots of cars parked on the street, and actually a lot of bikes parked on the street as well. And the specific subject today that I wanted to talk about is parking. And the reason I wanted to talk about parking is because seeing all these people who look basically like they don't know what they're doing when it comes to parking their motorcycle. A lot of the common things that I've seen is people basically parallel parking their motorcycle on the street. And the other one that I commonly see is people who just pull into a parallel parking space. They basically roll right up and then roll their front wheel right into the curb. And although I don't think that if you park that way in a parallel parking space, that is not necessarily illegal, because the rule, especially the law here in California, is that you have to have at least one wheel up against the curb. And so I guess if you've got that front wheel up against the curb, that works because you're not breaking the law necessarily, but what you're doing is setting yourself up for an awkward situation when you've got to back out of that spot into a street where cars are coming. So my biggest point of advice to all of you in parking your motorcycle is to back it in. If you can back it in at any time, back your motorcycle in. It's just going to make your life easier when it's time to leave. And not just easier, but to me, I believe it's safer when you're when you're not backing your motorcycle out of a spot. Now, I'm going to go into a parking lot here and just show you some of the easiest ways to get into a parking space that make it so you don't have to back out at all at times, and at other times where backing it in is your only option, but still you know, it's making it so you're putting yourself in the least amount of situations where you might be unsafe or where something bad could happen to you or to your bike. So I've gone over this before, and one of the main things that you got to think about when you're parking your bike is to not turn your handlebars too drastically one way or the other, because what you're doing there is you're setting yourself up to lay your bike down. When you're backing a motorcycle in, you want to do most of your handlebar turning when you're setting yourself up to back in, instead of when you're actually backing the bike up. What I mean by that is, you know, if you've got to turn your handlebars at a sharp angle to get in a position to back your motorcycle in, and I'll show you what I mean right here. So first of all, if you've got a space here and you can do it, completely take backing out of the spot out of the picture by just rolling up. And I would always advise not to park up to the front of the spot, but always to park closer to the rear of the spot. That way, if a car's coming in and they can't see you because there's cars on either side of you, you're leaving yourself the greatest amount of distance between you and a car that's really quickly running into a space. I've had a bike hit and actually totaled by a car pulling into a spot too fast and just nailing my bike. So let me go over here where there's a little less. Actually, I want to cheat here. What I mean here is when I pull up to a spot, and we're going to wait for this guy to go. Now, I've got a lot of space here. Otherwise, you'd have to do this in the actual lot. But see how I'm turning my handlebars a little bit here, and you want to get them straightened out before you stop your bike, because again, if you do that while the bike is running and you hit the brake, your bike's going to want to lay down. So again, here I'm just backing the bike in, and what I want to do is to get it as far back in the spot as I can. Especially, you're fine here, especially because there's no one that's going to hit your bike otherwise. And here I'm safe. I can leave the bike here and it's going to be safe in this spot. Now I wanted to give you guys a couple other examples, so I'll probably shut it down here and show you guys about parking on the street.
5 minutes later.
What I've most commonly seen recently from people is people who want to parallel park their bike, basically, which means they will just roll up to a spot, per se. Like, for instance, they'll just roll in and they'll park here like that, right? And this, first of all, is not legal in the state of California. Second of all, there's a lot less of your bike that's visible to people who are coming and wanting to park. Maybe they think a spot is open. When they roll up into this thinking the spot is open, they're just gonna see the back of your bike. It might seem dangerous to have your bike sticking out, when you're perpendicular with the curb, but you've got reflectors. If it's at night, you've got reflectors for people that'll shine on your bike, and even though it seems less safe because your bike's sticking out more, it's definitely more safe that way. So let's say I'm on a street here and I'm going to park in this spot. What I've seen people do is they'll just pull in, and again, in California this might be legal because I've got one tire on the curb, but now when I'm backing up into traffic, where to me that just does not seem like something I want to do, especially on a busier road. So what you want to do is, we'll come up a little bit further. This is a better example here because I'm coming between a couple of cars, is I'm giving myself a little bit of space. And another tip for you is, don't park too close to the back of another car, right? Because when you do that, you're just making it harder for the car that you're between to see you. So you're backing it up slowly, and then boom, you got your back wheel up against the curb and you're done. So again, these all seem like simple things and things that you should be learning early on when you're riding your motorcycle, but more and more I've been seeing people who don't know necessarily how to park their bike on the street or in a parking lot per se, when it can be the most safe for you and the safest for your bike. Because again, we want everyone to be safe, and we definitely want our bikes to be around so that we can ride them for longer. So again, leaving enough space here, I'm just reviewing this, between yourself and these vehicles next to you, so that they're not hitting you when they come forward, and these people who are backing into you to get out of their spot have enough space so that they feel safe, that they're not going to back into your bike. All right guys, that's all I got for you today on parking, for you new riders or you people who are just looking up ways to brush up on your riding skills. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, and if you're so inclined, hit the subscribe button, which I'll pop up right over here. I'll also throw up some links over here in this direction for you guys to see one of my other videos right now. Guys, if you're riding, be safe, and if you're not riding, get riding. This is that one guy, and I'm out.